Merci, Monsieur le Président, President of the General Assembly, distinguished panelists. Very happy to be here on this very important occasion to discuss the mainstreaming of gender equality. The Beijing Declaration and Platform of Action was a milestone in the history of women's rights and gender equality, and I know that many of you have actually actively participated in it. It encapsulated the incredible mobilization, the wisdom and expertise of feminist movements and women's rights organizations, and it led to major progress. The declaration sparked a global stand against gender-based violence. More than 160 countries passed laws to address domestic violence. The number of women in parliaments around the world has more than doubled since the declaration, and 50 million more girls have been enrolled in schools globally since 2015. We urgently need that same mobilization and solidarity today to counter a growing backlash against women's rights and gender equality, especially targeting sexual and reproductive health and rights. We need to rally around the declaration and the platform for action to send a clear message that resurgent gender-based violence, discrimination and misogyny have no place in our world. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, violence against women is a persistent scourge, and it's rampant online, on our streets and in our homes. 6 women or girls are killed every single hour by their intimate partner or family member, and the real numbers are most certainly higher. In 2023, the proportion of women killed in armed conflict doubled compared to the previous years, and the number of United Nations verified cases of conflict-related sexual violence grew by 50%. The outdated notion that men should control women's choices and bodies is gaining traction once again. Even the very concept of gender equality is being questioned. It is shocking and bewildering to me that misogynist influencers have millions of followers on social media and are hailed as heroes in some quarters. Women's rights are being dismissed and denied in one form or another all over the world. Not one country has achieved gender equality. This is a massive human rights failure and a problem not only for women and girls, but for everyone. No country can make sustainable progress politically, economically, or socially while subordinating or excluding half of its population. Women's full leadership and participation make peace agreements more durable, development more sustainable, climate action more effective, and economies more resilient. Take the climate catastrophe. Women and children are 14 times more likely than men to die in extreme weather events, and 4 out of 5 people displaced by climate change are women and girls. No region can truly address the climate crisis without listening to women, who are uniquely positioned to be agents of change. Take diplomacy, where a growing number of countries have adopted a feminist foreign policy over the past decade. They are prioritizing equality and justice as preconditions for peace, prosperity, development, and security. This recognizes, for example, that women's participation increases the probability of a peace agreement lasting 15 years by at least 35%. Or take economic growth. Estimates suggest that closing the gender pay gap could give the global economy a $7 trillion boost. Women's rights and gender equality are non-negotiable. They will have an outsized catalytic and multiplier effect across all the sustainable development goals. We know that progress is possible. Our history and the leaders of the women's rights movements can show us the way. So too can the women and girls all over the world who are demanding an equal share. My office is working with them to advance their struggle. In Mexico, we are backing the fight against impunity in cases of femicide. In Colombia, we have supported key peace-building activities with women at their core. We are working to increase the participation of women in decision-making in South Sudan, and in Ukraine, we are supporting women survivors of conflict-related sexual violence. We will continue to support efforts like these all over the world, celebrating diversity, insisting on bodily autonomy, pushing for equality in family spaces, in culture and in religion, and pressing for more women at decision-making tables. We will promote and protect women's rights and gender equality every day at every opportunity, in my office's advocacy and in my engagement with states. This is my firm commitment to women and girls in all their diversity everywhere. But this also needs to be a national priority and a global commitment, a promise by states and societies to women and girls to stand up for their rights, to protect and develop the legacy of the Beijing Declaration, and to dismantle the patriarchy brick by brick. Thank you.